Hey, F50 Women. I am here with Regina Smithwick, and she is a mom. She is the founder of Regina Smithwick Enterprises. She's a professional organizer, certified life coach, and the creator of Let's Talk, a talk show and a podcast. She's a motivational speaker and she's an author. And I'm so thankful for you to be here. Thank you for being here, Regina.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
I'm excited to hear about what you do, what you're passionate about. So I'm just going to jump in. And can you just give us a preview of who you were and how this all started and what you were like as a younger woman, what you wanted to be, so we can understand if you ended up being that and how that all worked in the transformation?
Well, let's start with who I was. I was lost. That's
Okay.
who I was. I was lost. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my passion. I didn't know my purpose. I was just kind of floating around this world, this universe. And when you do that, you just allow anyone attached to you. You're allowed to take in everybody else's belief systems, everybody else's ways, values. That's where problems lie, right? When you're taking other people's stuff, when you don't even know where you stand and you don't have a foundation. So that's my beginnings. Now, where I'm at right now, I am now a child of God. I know who I am in Him. I know what the gift He gave me, the gifts He gave me, and now I'm utilizing my gifts. I didn't realize they were gifts until after I really started to pray and ask Him. And He's like, okay, you're asking me something and it's sitting right there. A lot of us have things that we sit on and we think it's just given and it's just something that we have, but it's really your gifts that He gave you.
Okay.
So now I went from breakdown to breakthrough.
Before you go any further, I am always so curious, and I know there's probably not really an answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. So
Let's go
how
for it.
did that realization happen? You sit down, you talk to God, and was it obvious? Did you hear the words?
I can tell you now, I got details. So
Yes, please. Yes.
Look, Act 2. Well, it was actually in September of 2019. It was a beautiful Saturday afternoon. I was getting ready for a date. I had online dating and I had a date with a gentleman that I was talking to on the phone for a little while. It was our first time meeting. We went on a date, and you know how you go on a date and you kind of, it's not horrible, but you just don't feel that feeling, but yet you just want to make it work because you feel that, give it a chance. And after the date was over, he sounded like he was interested. We was going to continue to get to know each other. So later on that evening, he gave me a call, and I was figuring he was calling me to tell me basically how, he'd like to date to see if I got home safe. Right. That wasn't what it was. He was calling me to tell me that he did not want to continue to get to know me. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, because it wasn't a situation that I had any inkling. So I literally, I was on the phone with him and I started saying to him, I don't understand. I thought we was getting along and, I'm a good person. And I just started talking. I said, wait a minute. I had stopped in the middle of my sentence, was like, why am I Obamaing him? Why I'm campaigning to tell him how great I am. Yeah. If we don't see it. And then I knew something was wrong. At that moment, I literally hung up the phone and I started crying. I cried so hard. My head was killing me because it wasn't a rejection. It was how I handled the rejection, right? Why would I let someone I don't know shift me that much to get me that upset? Why would I let someone shift my mood to make me feel less than when I don't even know this person? That next day, I just started getting on the phone. I called a spiritual life coach that I knew of. And I told her my situation. I said, I really need help. I got to dig out of here. I got to figure out what's happening with me. So when I decided to do that and do the work, I realized it was because of my adoption. My adoption was a secret. I kept it a secret. And when you keep things a secret, you're telling yourself internally you don't love yourself. When you tell yourself you don't love yourself, you treat yourself as such. So therefore, you let validation issues, insecurities, low self-esteem, those things take over you because you don't know who you are, because you don't love yourself enough to figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's where it stemmed from, and that's where I end up being. And then I had to kind of go backwards and work my way back.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying breakdown to breakthrough.
How did you even get to the point where you came to God? It sounds like as a younger girl or younger woman, you weren't necessarily God focused. How did that transition happen?
Well, I would say I was God focused. I was raised in church. I was in church choir. I was an usher. I was a birthday committee. I was in church. That you could be in church but not be in God. You see what I'm saying? Yes. A lot of people could sit in church every Sunday and be there, present, but
Yes.
don't take the knowledge that they learned and apply it to their day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
I knew right from wrong. I was a good kid, never got in trouble or anything, but I didn't apply this knowledge that I didn't realize the Bible is like really a life guide. It just tells you
Yes.
what to do. It's like, why would we out there trying to do it on our own? That's why we get into all these problems, because we
Yes.
try to do it our way and not his way.
Yeah.
So now when I read it, I see it in fresher eyes. I see it differently than I did when I was younger. I didn't understand the Bible as it was, but now I understand what's going on. So
Yeah. That is, I was just talking to another woman about that yesterday, how we go to church, we believe it, we talk it, but it's almost like it hasn't really soaked in or something yet.
mhm.
So that's incredible. So tell us what you do now. I know in
Okay.
talking about that, we're going to get some nuggets and how you got there and talk about some of those really special things that you're teaching and where you learned them from. So tell us about what you do now.
Okay. Well, now because I decided to tap into my purpose, and I knew that I had a couple of good, I guess you want to call them attributes. I have a gift for gab. I network very well. I like to get people together. I'm a very social person. I love having connections. I'm the person that if I don't know, I know somebody who knows.
Okay.
If somebody calls me, asks me about anything, I'll be like, okay, I don't know, but I know someone who do know, and I get them to contact you. I've always been that type of person. I always motivated people. I always was the one that was like, look, it's not that bad. I always find a silver line in everything. I always find the goodness in everybody. So that was always my gift. So I was like, you know what? That's a motivational speaker. That's a
Okay.
motivational person. That's the person that can help someone understand, because I was just telling somebody this morning, everybody don't know everything. And that's why we all here, right? We all here to help each other. There's
Yes.
some people that are struggling in other things than you are. So what's simple and common to you is not common to everyone. That's
Yes.
why we have coaches. That's why we have counselors. That's why we have therapists, because obviously what's common to you is not common to them. If
Yeah.
that was the case, we wouldn't need help.
Yeah.
I feel that my purpose is to help other women who feel like this, that feel lost. And I had my first show, I had my first podcast on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And the reason why I did it on Valentine's Day, because I wanted to capture those women who were single. And I wanted to capture them when they had nothing else to do but sit there and swallow and cry and be upset because they feel that nobody loves them and everybody else had boyfriends and husbands but them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not how it goes, people. I
Okay.
lived that life. I understand what you're going through, but it's not what you've seen sometimes. Don't let social media fool you. They're not worrying about your feelings. They're not going to sell to a friendship ring. They're not going to sell a sister brother ring. The money's in the engagement. The money's in the marriage. That's why they do it. If one day they wake up and say that's not in no more, and what's in is friendship rings, they will do it, and everybody will go buy a friendship ring. But that's not where the money's at. So don't let commercialization, don't let social media make you feel less than. You're the same woman on the 13th, 14th, and 15th. So I had to that's where it started from. My passion started in, I was so tired of seeing women settle for anyone just to have a boyfriend or husband.
Yeah.
Knowing that, going in with the red signs, knowing them, still
Yes.
doing it because they feel that society told them they got to get married because the marriage is the trophy. A woman don't feel like they a woman until they get married. Like, I got the trophy, got the husband.
Yeah.
And then they feel like everybody else is oh, you don't have a husband. Oh,
Yeah.
I
So
just
women,
didn't like that, you know?
women in that situation, what would you advise them to replace that with when you feel like that there's that hole or there's something missing? Tell us, what do we put there then?
You put your purpose. You do your work and find out who you are. First of all, you can't love someone else before you love yourself. You got to be your love first. We always put the cart in front of the horse. We always want to love someone, but we don't want to love ourselves. We feel loving ourselves is, I don't know, it's taboo because I did it myself. So, but I don't understand it, but I understand it because I've been there.
Yeah.
But, you got to fill it with you. You got to fill it with you. You got to figure out who you are, what you like to do. What is your things in life? Like, what is it that you like to do?
Yeah.
That, first of all, will attract you to a person who's more and equally yoked to you, and you have more compatibility because you may find someone who if you start doing things what you like, that's how you meet people, get outside the realm.
Right.
You got to get to a point in life that he could see that you got value, that you have something to bring to the table. Yeah. You're not just there to be somebody's wife, but you're there to be you want to compliment them. You don't want to be a situation is, well, I give 50, you give 50. Nah, it's not going to do with numbers. It got to be with compatibility and equally yoked and what God aligns with you. Yeah. I started my journey 2 years ago, I decided I'm not having sex. I'm not doing any of that. I'm going to do it totally God's way.
Yeah.
And if that's going to take longer than the average person, but when it happens, it's going to be,
Right.
I'd rather have one right and go through 5 wrong.
So how do you feel that decision to do it God's way has changed you? Tell us about how that feels and how the benefits of it. Because for some, they're like, yeah, what?
Yeah, whatever.
I'm not waiting that long. I'll do it God's way for maybe 4 months. And then I'm going back to my way.
And then after you go back to your way, you're going to be doing the same thing again and again and again. Your way.
We keep doing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I got tired. It's like you're hitting your head against the wall and expecting not to bleed. Yeah, you're gonna bleed every time. Every
time.
Every single time.
Yes.
And we think we're gonna beat the system. We're gonna beat it. We're gonna figure that out. Go ahead and do what you do. Now, I'm not judging nobody because I'm new for me.
Right.
So I'm learning just like everybody else. This is a new journey for me, but I decided to take this journey because I took the other road. The other road, I got sneakers. The sneakers are worn out. I got holes on the bottom of my feet. I'm done. Like, I can't do nothing else. Like, this is it. I got to do it this other way. I don't have no other choice because I done it every other way but his way. Now let me give God his time. And it's going to be unanswered. I'm not going to know everything. I don't, but I'll learn as I go.
Yeah, you have to, if you want something different, you have to try something different. You have to do something different. Yes. There are 2 things. One thing is this idea of self-love. So we hear that a lot. We hear about self-love, love yourself, but what does that really mean? What does that really mean? I just take a bath. What does self-love mean? I look in the mirror and say, I love you. What does that mean? Everybody's talking about it so much. Self-care, take care of yourself. But what does that mean? Yeah.
Well, the stuff you name, it's good to do. It's never going to hurt. But it's surface. It's very surface. It's only temporary. It's only going to last for that time frame that you do that. When you do that self-love hurts because you got to dig. Okay. You got to dig. When you dig with self-love, you got to love yourself enough to go through the pain and push through it. I had to say to myself, Regina, you have validation issues. Regina, you have low self-esteem. Regina, you didn't like the way your height, you didn't love your feet, you didn't love your lips, you didn't, I had to say this stuff out loud. At one point, I couldn't imagine a million years saying what I just said out loud to you right this moment. I had to get to a point that I had to say, these are things that are wrong with me, but they're not. This is how God designed me.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with me. It's something wrong with the way I'm thinking about me, but there's nothing wrong with me. Yeah. And I had to do that work. And when you do that work, and push through, you're going to realize when you look back to the other side, it's like, oh, that wasn't even nothing. Like, why did I sweat that? Why did I let it get to me? Because you asked earlier, but now I don't let things get to me like that no more because I understand what's happening. There's a lot of me's out here. There's a lot of people that's hurt. Yeah. And sometimes hurt hurts.
Yes.
And sometimes hurt other people. Not like they trying to, but that's all they know. Yeah. A lot of times our parents put belief systems in us that they did. That's all they knew.
That's all they knew.
And their mother knew. We are carrying traditions, good and bad. Yeah. I decided to stop taking in people's stuff and started thinking about why I do things. Why I don't like that. Do I don't like that because I don't like it? I don't like it because my mother and my aunts and everybody else didn't like it. And I just said I didn't like it either.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna tell you a little story real quick. Mm-hmm. So this lady, not young, but she's a little younger woman. She was cooking Thanksgiving dinner. And so when she was cooking dinner, she broke the legs off the chicken and she put the chicken in the oven. Somebody asked her, well, why do you do that? She said, oh, my mom did that. And then, we always did, that's a tradition in our family. We always do that. Yeah. So it was like, ask the mom, so why do you do that? So like, well, my mom always did that. She always breaks the chicken legs off, puts it in the pan and pushes it in the oven. And it just tastes better, just the way our family does things. Mm-hmm. So they said, well, let's ask Grandma, why did she do that? Grandma, why did you break the legs off? She said, because baby, when I was younger, my oven was too small. So I had to break the legs off to put it in, fit in the oven.
Didn't taste better or anything.
You had 3 generations doing that and didn't even know why they did it.
Yeah.
Well, 2 generations. The 3rd generation knew, but they never asked.
Right.
They never asked. It wasn't nothing but logistics. She had a little oven. That was it.
Yeah.
And she just let them do it and didn't even tell them why she did it.
And
So
that is
imagine,
probably that way for so many other things. Yeah.
exactly. Imagine how many things that we have in us that we do and don't know why. Do you love this stuff, or do you like this stuff? Or are you wearing stuff that you really want to wear? Or are you wearing what they told you you're supposed to wear? I banned heels. I'm done with heels.
Yeah.
Not doing it no more.
Okay.
I did heels because that's what men like. That's what the society tells you should wear heels. You're supposed to look better, be sexier with heels on. My feet hurt. I'm not doing heels no more. If you don't see I'm sexy, you don't think I'm attractive with flats on, then I don't know what to tell you. You superficial. If that's going to be the breaking point that you don't want me because I don't wear heels, then we don't need to be together. See, we got to start really thinking about what makes us happy and stop worrying about what society's telling you what looks good. You know, if you like them, yes, rock them all day. But if you don't, you shouldn't have to feel like I got to walk around my feet. I've been to so many functions. I see women walking out of the place with the heels in their hand. They can't even get back to the car. But who are you making happy? You're in pain. Right. So why are you in pain for people who don't even pay your bills or don't even care about why do we do that? I think it's mind blowing now. It's like the Matrix. You know how you listen in the Matrix and you wake up? Like when I went to my awakening, I call it the awakening, like 2 years ago, I literally was like, and I was just looking around at everybody like, oh my God, you got problems too. Oh my God, you don't know what's going on either. Like I realized the people that I put on these pedestals all these years are completely broken and don't know what's going on either. Because I thought that I look at people and I judge people by how they look, who they with, what they job. And they go, oh, they got it going on. And then come to find out when you really see what's happening, they have insecurities. So that's why they with these people, because they feel like these people make them better. And this is why they're at that job, because they don't know who they are. Their title is who they are. So if they lose that job, they lost. They don't know what's going on. So I realized like, oh my gosh, I was idolizing these people who don't even know what the heck is happening. And that's when I decided to I have to get it together. So
what do you say to the others in the Matrix to help them to see?
I like that. Good question. Discount what your journey is. Like I said, I believe in God. So that's going to be my forefront. There's other people that believe in other things, and that's understandable. Whatever your source is, whatever your divine is, whatever brings you center yourself, do some soul searching. And, reading is really fundamental. I never have a master's degree. I read just to read what I had to read. I didn't go into no deeper than what you asked me to do. I do what you had to, But now I actually literally, and I use Audibles a lot. I download books. I listen to them. There's so many books out there that really changed my life.
Tell us some of those. Diet. 40 Degrees. That's the name of the book.
4 Degrees.
4 Degrees. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. 4 Agreements. Excuse me. 4 Agreements.
Oh, 4 Agreements. That's a really, really
4
good
Agreements.
Book. And how did that change you?
Because 4 simple things. Do not take things personal. Yeah. He said in the book, if someone shoots you in your head, don't take it personal. It got nothing to do with you. It's got to do with the other person and how they feel about themselves. Yeah. When people cut you off when you drive and they flipping your finger, don't take it personal. They not happy. It's them. What people bring to you is who they feel about themselves. Yeah. So when you deal with nasty people, deal with people who are not happy, they're not happy in their own lives, and they got to take you with them. Yeah. So just pray for them and just say, oh, I feel bad for you. I see that you're upset. I see your life is not where you want it to be. Got nothing to do with you. That changed the whole way I looked at people. Because I'm a New Yorker. I'm clapping back. If you say something to me, I'm going to get what? Okay, I'm going to get you before you get me. Okay, that's how we roll. That's how we do it here. See, I had to realize that's not how it works. Right. A lot of times you may look silly. You may look like somebody's getting over on you. You may look like they won this, I don't know, this pretend competition, whatever it is.
Comes in, yeah.
You got to stop worrying what people think. Your peace is so much important than trying to win this little crazy little battle, the words going back and forth with someone. Yeah. As you get older, and especially when you're in our 50s and older, stress will kill you. Yes. It will. There ain't no question if it will. If you allow people to get your heart rate up and your pressure up, because that's what happens to you when you get upset. Your pressure gets raised. Your body goes through these changes, and sometimes some people don't come back from it. So you got to realize is that argument really worth your life?
Right.
Unless it's life or death, is it really worth your life just to fight over a parking space? Is
Yeah.
it worth your life just to fight over someone who said they're going to do something and they didn't do it? Is it really that serious? I started putting stuff in perspective. And that's why I'm saying when you read books or listen to books, listen to the simplicity of it. It's simple things that we make difficult because we got to either prove a point or we got to win a battle.
So you talk about this 4 agreements, finding your peace. You talk about wringing out your sponge. Does that have to do with this? Don't take things personal and keep your peace. Tell us about what that means.
Wring Out Your Sponge is a workshop / journal book that I have on Amazon. Okay. And what happened was I was doing my talk show one night and we were talking about something, and then it came up about a topic. And I said, well, it's like you have to wring out your sponge, because how can you absorb new information if your sponge is saturated with old belief systems and processes? My show host said, wait, what you just say? I said, wring out your sponge. She said, did you understand what you just said? You need to tag it, tweet it. You need to do something with that, because the simplest thing makes so much. It made me realize everything you just said in that one little phrase, wring it out your sponge.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I never thought of it, but okay. And then I went home and really thought about it. And I said, yo, I could really do something with this. Like, that makes a lot of sense. That analogy really resonates with people. Yeah. So I decided to do a journal, and I wrote a journal about it. And then I have a course coming out that's going to help you bring out your sponge. So what we do is we acknowledge you're good. We acknowledge everything that you love and everything that, is good about you. Then we acknowledge the stuff that you're not that happy about and things you need to change. Then we go ahead and work on it. So what we got to do is bubble up that stuff first and get it up to the surface and get it to a point that you can acknowledge it. And when you acknowledge it, you tame that monster, and it's not as bad as you think it is. And then we could go ahead and tackle those. And so we can bring out the sponge. And at the end, we absorb new processes, new ideas, new belief systems, and we'll put that stuff in that make you really live in your purpose. So we get over the obstacles to be a better you, and then we get you to where the street of going to your purpose is, so you can start working on your purpose and why God really has you here. We are so wrapped up in all this foolishness.
Yes.
God had you here for a reason. When you were birthed, you came with a purpose. Yeah. God don't have you walking in this earth just to play around. He has every single one of us to figure out. He has something for us to do. And it takes time, but we figure that out, and we do it in his word and his name, right? So we go ahead and work it out. But you got to figure out what it is. And that's what Wring Out Your Sponge will do.
Yeah. And do you think that's a cycle? So you wring out your sponge and you get to one place, and then you have to start back again and wring it out again to get deeper and deeper.
Right. Yeah. Right. And it just count where you at in life. Like I told people in my workshop, I could say do page 5 or do page 10. I can't really tell you that. You got to go where you go, because you're different than that person here and that person there. So you got to go where you're comfortable with, and then you gradually get deeper and deeper in it. And my book is repetitious, so it will have a section, and then it repeats that same section again, and then it repeats it again. So you can continue to learn how to do certain things. So one thing is, I have validation issues, and that was my thing. I needed a guy to tell me how beautiful I was, or I had to I need you to tell me how great I am, and I realized I don't need you to tell me that, because I already know I am that. You need to catch up. Like, I already got that down. I don't need you to tell me that. So I work on that. Then I go back and say, well, I had low self-esteem. Let me work on that. So you can just break it down, just like you said.
You talked about how you realized your gifts were already part of who you were. And that's how you got there. How do we get to the point where we can see our true selves and not the self, after, say you're 50 years old and you're still like, I don't know what I'm doing. How do you peel away all that stuff that somebody told you should be, or what you think is best, or what social media, or that title? How do you get to that part where you look back and you realize, you know what, that's what I'm good at. I've been doing it the whole time. How do we do that? Is that wring out the sponge process? Will that take us there?
Yeah, because when we talk about how great you are and things that you love about yourself, see, we start off with that. You literally write, what have I accomplished? What was my greatest moment? What made me smile? What makes me happy? What I love doing the most? And you take all those things and you have it like a whiteboard and you look at it. Now, my board was said, I love socializing. I love helping people. I love networking. I love motivating people. Then you say, okay, well, those things, what can you do with those things? Well, I could be a motivational speaker because I love to motivate.
Yeah.
I could actually work in the entertainment industry if I want to. I like networking, or I could work in a field that networking is really vital. Or I could have conferences because I love bringing people together and helping them. So I could do it all in one sitting. I could do the motivation. I could bring people together. We could come together. I could do everything in that one thing. That would satisfy me so much to have a conference because I could do everything I love right there. Yeah. So that's how you start piecing it together. You start with single words, and then you think about what you could do with those words that will make you happy. If you say, well, I love reading, I love working out, I love whatever, you go, okay, you love working out. Do you love helping people work out, or you like working out by yourself? You like to help people? You ever thought about being a personal trainer or being a fitness instructor? You love reading. Well, if you had a job being an editor or a job working at a newspaper or working at a magazine, would that make you happy? Did you ever think about that? See, people think that stuff like that is dream jobs. Like, oh, that wouldn't happen to me. That happens to people on TV or this and so. But if you are a reader and you love editing and you love this, whatever it is, you could work at these places and have your dream job and do what you do every day and love it. We box ourselves. We don't see ourselves being bigger than where we at. That's why it's so important to network with people like you and me, people that would like the podcast and like to, help others. You need to network with people and stay in that realm because that keep your vibrations up to want to be able to do more in it. If you're the only person doing it around everyone you hanging out with, you're not going to elevate because there's no one going to push you to say, oh, I'll be like, oh, I like this. That's how you should do it. That's how you learn stuff when you're around people that do what you do.
That's true.
And there's enough for everyone. You don't have to be, oh, I don't want them to bite me. And that's not how it works.
Yeah.
There's billions of people in this world.
Yes.
We are virtual. It's not your town. It's not your state. We are virtual. Yes. You could touch billions of people with your podcast. Yeah. It's enough for everyone, There
is enough for everyone. And there are enough people to network with for everyone. So going back to that conversation you had with that gentleman that changed everything for you. Mm-hmm. If you had that conversation again, what would you say? You have to say something. What would it be?
I have to say something? Okay. So
you can't just hang up on him. No.
If I had that conversation, that's a good question. Very good question. If I had to see him again, I would tell him thank you.
Okay.
I would tell him thank you because God aligned you. The divine order is real. He did his job. He did what he was supposed to do. He wasn't there to be with me. He was there to wake me up. I would say to him, thank you, because without what happened to me, I would not be where I'm at right now. I'll be on that next date doing the same dumb mess. But you waking me up by taking me to that point of no return. Yeah. So thank you. I will honestly thank him. I'll probably treat him to dinner. He changed my life.
That's a literal wake-up
call. Wake-up call. Literally, he called me and woke me up.
Yes.
Yes. I'm sitting there telling somebody how great I am. What in the world? Let me get off this phone.
Yeah. Yes. And so everyone who's listening, what's your wake-up call? And don't miss it. Don't hang up the phone and start chasing your tail. So if you met your younger self, go even a little bit further back, what's the one piece of advice you would give her?
If I had met my younger self, I would have said in college in 1988, I was a virgin. I stayed a virgin until I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't have that self-value enough to say, you know what, I don't care what they're doing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah.
It saved me a lot of heartache. I would tell myself to continue that path of what I was doing because greatness is going to happen and you're going to be rewarded for doing right. Don't worry about what everybody's doing. That's going to be temporary and it's not going to last. And as I'm 30 years out of college, none of it lasts.
None of it lasted.
None of it. Everybody you thought that was doing all this and they had it going on, none of them last. And they all did other things in life. So it's kind of like, I wish I could just I just want to take some kids and shake them. Be like, I know right now it seems like it's the end of the world, but I'm telling you, just give it like 5 years. You're going to look back and go, oh, what was his last name? You're not even going to remember his last name. So I would tell my younger self, continue what you were doing because you're doing right, Regina. Don't let nobody get you off your path. Yeah. But divine order in life brings you in places that those life lessons had to be taught to me because seeing that I didn't know who I was because I was hiding my adoption, that wouldn't change I would eventually got that way because I wasn't really right inside.
Would that have helped you avoid all the other stuff you had to go through to learn, or would you have learned it earlier, or did you have to just go through that so you can wake up?
I would go through it again because even me and my birth family, I wasn't the same person then that I am now. How would I receive them? How would they receive me then? Sometimes you need some wisdom and age on you sometimes with certain things. So I don't know how it would have been if I met them in my 30s or 20s. I don't know. I really appreciate what happened now because I'm at a point in my life that I had to work on me to be able to say, I got to understand and take people who they are. When you're adopting me, your birth family, it's nice and all the first little meeting, you're on TV, you see everybody screaming and hugging. When the credits roll, the real life starts, y'all. So when the credit roll and everybody go, okay, cut. Now I got to look at you and go, oh, you're my dad. You're my mom. I don't know you.
Yeah.
And you have to learn these people and learn their ways. And sometimes you'll see your ways that you never saw before, or your mannerisms or the way you look. It was so many things I learned that from my birth family that I inherited with them, certain temperaments and stuff about me.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
I don't think I could handle this 20 years ago, honestly.
So tell me a little bit more about sort of what that's like and how it helped you to grow, because I don't know what that's like to meet my birth family for the first time as an older person. So do you feel that if you went through life not having that experience, that you would have been the same? Or do you feel like that helped you grow even more?
It helped me grow even more because that whole experience of adoption, the way I got to the point I'm at now is I faced it and I went ahead and found them.
Okay.
Because the only way I'll be able to move on is to acknowledge it to a point that I could tell people and actually go find these people, because that was a void that I had. I had abandonment issues, and not abandonment issues like I wasn't raised, like my parents raised me. They did an amazing job. I had every opportunity. I never went without. I was able to get my education. I had a great life, hands down, great life. But when you're adopted, it's still something that you cannot describe to people because it's a void. People think that when you're adopted, you're supposed to be just happy that somebody took you. What are you complaining about? Somebody adopted you. There's people out there that don't have no parents. There's foster kids that's looking for parents. Why are you talking about you got a void? You mean you got a void? You got somebody that put you in. But you can't explain it to a person who has not been adopted. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always use the example. I'm a mother of identical twin boys. Yeah. Okay. I birthed them, but I'm not a twin. I don't know what twins feel like when they have this little thing going on with them and they could talk to each other, don't open their mouths and stuff. I can't tell you how that is. I'm not a twin. I birthed them, but I'm not one. That's how it feels when you try to tell an adopted kid how they should feel. Yeah. Everybody's gonna feel differently. Some adopted kids don't want to find their parents. Some of them do. Some of them scared. They want to, but they don't know what the end result. Some of them say, well, I'll wait till my parents die. Yeah. That's a lot of stuff that's happening with us. And that's another thing that I wrote a book about, my adoption, The Unknown Blessing. I wrote about my experience. I was hoping to help other people. Now, I'm glad that God touched other people to call me and contact me and tell me this book really helped me. I'm going to go find my dad. Like, there's people I know that I didn't even know that their dads weren't really their dads. And they called and told me, like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and do the kit. I'm going to find out who he is, because I need to know where I came from. Yeah. You know how you come 50, you see life a little different. You kind of get over that hump. You see that, I've been here half a century, and you really don't care what people think no more. You kind of say, you know what? I need to find out who I am. Yeah. I need to find out, because something's not, I can feel something ain't right here, because even though you're living your life, you have kids, you're like, well, your kids should know where they come from now. It's not even about you no more. My medical, I need to know my medical history. Do we have problems going on that I need to get pre-screened for to avoid going through it? Yeah. So it's so many things that, it's so many levels of adoption that a lot of people don't talk about. They just talk about oh, you adopted this baby and they happy. Then they talk about, oh, you found your birth parents, you're happy. There's a middle. That's a lot of middle that people are not talking about. Yeah. And then they wonder, I have 3 or 4 adopted friends, and we all got the same issues. We all have validation issues. We all got abandonment issues. We all been divorced. We all had low self-esteem.
Wow.
because it's in, think about it. One of Joy Brown, she's adoptee and she's an advocate for adoption. She's a beautiful woman. She
Yeah.
was on my show.
Yeah.
And she was telling me, imagine your mother giving birth to you when she's stressed out. She's a
Mhm.
young teen. She don't know she coming or going. She don't really know about getting health care. And you're developing in all of that.
Yeah.
Just like they tell you to put a speaker on your belly so they can hear
Yeah.
the music. Let your husband speak to the baby so they know his voice.
Yeah.
Well, it happens the opposite way too. If
Yes.
you're stressed and screaming and hollering and the boyfriend don't want the baby and you're screaming and hollering and you're crying because you're scared to tell your mother you're pregnant and you're lying during the pregnancy, hiding it, that's developing in me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you bringing that stuff is coming to me just like the good stuff is coming to me. So think about it. It's some kind of connection with that DNA-ish stuff that you coming in with.
Yes.
Most adoptee parents are young, most of them, not all of them,
Right.
and they're lost and they're confused. And they're trying to do the best thing they could do, but they live in a situation that every day they know they got to give you up. Every day they know they're not going to keep mental psyche's happening. Yeah. They feeling you move, but yet they know that they sad because they know they gotta apart from you when they give birth to you. You don't know how that affects us brain-wise.
Yeah. You wrote the book. Mm-hmm. Someone's listening, they're 50 or over, and they haven't told anyone. What would you advise them to do?
Tell yourself first, accept it to you first, tell yourself. A lot of times we keep going. We know that we don't look like someone, but we lie. I lied because my grandma was tall. So they're like, why? Because I'm the tallest thing in my family. I'm 5'10". I'm the tallest thing in my family. My dad is 5'8". My mom's 5'2". None of the men of my family is tall. I'm taller than most of the men in my family. There's a couple of them that's tall. And I used to say, I look at my grandma's side because my great uncles on my grandma's side are real tall. I just claimed them as, I've been lying to people all my life.
And it sounds like lying to yourself is the hardest step or the most crucial step to make.
Yeah, because after you get yourself together, telling everybody else is easy. You have to tell yourself that first and accept that you are. And it's nothing wrong with it. I had nothing to do with that. I was a baby. Right. I accepted this like I did something. I didn't do anything. Yeah. My mother couldn't do what she had to do, and that's understandable. And I love her for what she did. Yeah. I think that is the hardest thing you could do because I've been pregnant and I get it. I couldn't imagine giving birth to my kids and they say, here you go. Yeah. I couldn't imagine, but she did it because she knew that I would have a better life and she knew that she wouldn't be able to provide for me in a way that she would want me to be provided for. She named me Regina. She named me Queen. She named me Queen. I decided to start acting like a queen, put on my crown, tilt it and rock. Let's make this happen because I'm not going to disappoint her because she named me Queen for a reason. And I had to start acting like one and stop sitting here acting like I don't deserve this. I'm good enough for where I am. I don't need to be like nobody. I don't want to be like nobody. I want to be Regina, the one that is named Queen. I want to act like that. I'm conduct myself as such. So I didn't meet my birth mom. She passed away before I got a chance to meet her. Wow. But my way of honoring her is to live the life that she dreamed for me to live by naming me Queen. Okay. So that's what I'm doing now. Yeah.
So for all those moms who gave their children up for adoption, for things like that, what would you advise those moms who gave their children up, whether it's a closed adoption or open, what would you advise them to do should they ever meet or not get to meet their children? I'm purposely not guiding that question because I want to see what you say.
Okay. I believe that if you're a birth mom, it's different than it was when I went through it because I was born in the 70s. Yeah. But lately, open adoption is the end thing. Usually the birth parents are involved with the children's lives. They know them. They kind of raise them together somehow. Wow. Okay. Somewhat, I mean. So I would say if you were one of those back in the days that had a closed adoption and you as a birth mother, I would say to you is kind of step outside of you and try to reach out to them. Try to find them because a lot of times they're scared. They scared they think you're going to reject them. They scared because they think you're mad at them because of what they did. you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised, of what could happen in the relationship you could develop with your children. Even if they've grown, I still I'm literally, as I speak to you, I'm at my dad's house, my birth dad, literally.
Yeah.
We have a great relationship from day one. We visit each other all the time. Like I said, I'm here visiting him now. And, we learning each other.
Right.
And, he loves me. I love him. And, he wasn't there to raise me. He met me at 50 years old.
Yeah.
But we just started right that day, and we just developed our relationship from that day. Anything I need or just being there emotionally, he calls me every single day. Yeah. He texts me every single day. Baby, how you doing? Good morning. How you been? What's going on? We have long conversations. We talk about life. So, it's not, like, oh, he's going to be at my prom. He's going to be, no, we pass all of that.
Right.
But he's at a point now that we are able to enjoy each other and just be in each other's company. I would say to birth parents, go out there and find your children. Just let them know you want to be able to say what you got to say if you could say it. You don't want days go by and say woulda, coulda, shoulda. If you could go out and do that, like I said, it's scary. Yeah, it is. It's very scary. But when you rather try than not try, right, and then still have that woulda, coulda, shoulda on you, right? Yeah, so
never know. It might be the best thing you ever did.
Yes, and you see the greatness that you created. You don't know where that person is or what they're doing. You definitely have a good relationship with them as adults.
So, give us a little bit of advice from your playbook. I know you mentioned the 4 agreements. Are there any other books that you would advise all women to read? We have your Ring Out Your Sponge and the workbook. We definitely want to tap into that because that's how we get ourselves on the road to our purpose, which I think if you don't find that, then your life was missed. But is there another book that you would advise all women to read?
Yes.
Okay.
It's called The 30-Day Mental Diet.
Okay. Haven't heard of that one.
Yes. 30-Day Mental Diet. It's actually a 30-day book. It only takes you 5 minutes to read in the morning, 5 minutes to read at night. You got to write a couple of sentences of what they ask you to do. What I can tell you is it tells you who you are in the universe that we live in. It tells you how important that you make this universe. Every single person is the reason why we're here, and we all make this world go around. And it kind of explains to you how important you are. And it tells you that, you are someone and you are here to serve this world. I would recommend that book because if you don't know who you are, it starts telling you and guiding you in a way to figure out who you are. That's the beginning stages of my healing. That was the first thing I read. My life coach, that's the first book she gave me. And we talked about it every week. And every chapter we talked about it. And it made sense. And I started feeling better about myself. I started realizing that, oh, wow, God has me here to do something. What's my job? What I got to do? You know? Now I find a reason to do, because I'm like, oh, this is what he wants me to do. Right. So I would say that. Now, the other book that I read was by Yvonne Orji. She's the Insecure co-star, Insecure. Lisa Ray's co-star.
Yeah.
Her name is Yvonne Orji. And she wrote a book about Jesus bamboozled me into my, I think it was into my perfect life but Jesus bamboozled me, I think is the main title of the book. I had downloaded on the Audibles, man. Oh, that book, man. I would say to anyone who want to be entertained, someone that knows the Bible, but really she breaks the Bible down in today's terms and today's like language and lingo, and she's cool, she's hip hop, she's R&B, and she breaks it down in a way that you get it. And she tells the stories in the Bible in a way that you like, yo, we were rocking and we were going over here, we tried to do this. Like the way she talks, it will resonate to a lot of people who don't really know the Bible. And she kind of tricks you into learning the Bible and the story she tells about her life. And she basically tells you, trust God's divine order, trust the process. Yeah. Things are not going to always happen the way you want it, but those things that didn't work out for you now, 4 years from now, is going to actually be the reason why you got there, because you're going to meet a person who you think is not important, but you just met them for that brief moment. But that person is going to be the one that's going to elevate your career over here 5 years later. It's the way she tells it, that she tells you things that happened to her and how that she didn't understand what happened and why she ended up being broke and why she ended up losing. But she had to lose because she had to move over here, this other place that she met someone else, that the one that helped her get where she had to go. It's amazing. That book is amazing, hands down.
Okay.
I would recommend that book.
Jesus bamboozled me. Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. Every story she told is amazing. She does a great job telling it.
Yeah.
I recommend that to anyone. I wish I could meet her in person. I'm gonna meet her one day because I just want to tell her, Yvonne, that book was slamming.
Yeah. I can't wait to listen. You got to put this as an advertisement for her book. This is great. I want to read it now.
It was a surprise. It was a good surprise.
Okay. What other things, I'm so curious, what other things are there left for you to learn? Do you feel that there's a crevice or a nook or a cranny that you still have to dig out? And if so, please share it with us.
Oh yeah. I still want to learn. I want to get deeper with me. I want to get deeper with God. I'm scratching surfaces and I'm getting deep, but I always believe I lived this life for 50 years. It's going to take me years to figure this thing out too. It's not going to happen overnight, but every day I feel better and better. I'm optimistic. I know my future is going to be bright. I'm looking forward to doing all the stuff that I'm doing on a whole nother 2.0 level. I know that next year, this time, I'm going to be somewhere that I dreamt of. I know it's going to happen. God promised me. I don't know about nobody else, but God promised me abundance. Yeah. God promised me amazing things. He promised me that I won't suffer. He promised that to me. I'm just here to collect.
Yeah.
I'm just here to collect. Yeah. He already told me I have it. I'm just here to collect. It's going to happen because people are like, oh, so no, it's going to happen. Yeah. Now I can tell you what I want and I can tell you the end result. That middle, that's him. I can't tell you there. Now he's like, well, I thought you said you're going to get it. You lost money here or you didn't get this. That's part of the process. Yeah. That's part of what happens. You're going to go through things, ups and downs, valleys, but the end result, you're going to get what you're supposed to get. But you got to, that's how that book's shit. Middle is what people always trying to maneuver. You got to leave that alone. Leave the middle alone. Just tell him what you want at the beginning. Tell him how you want your end and just go through the journey. Wow. You do the possible, let him do the impossible. You do the possible. That's all you need to do. Let him do the impossible. I had to learn that. Can't control that. That middle. That's a message that so many women need to hear. I know that's a message that I need to hear because gosh, we're just trying to control the middle. Because God, if we just do this, if we just do this over here, that'll get me there. And he's just like, but he's telling you no idea what I need to do. Yeah. Like you said, perfect example. Mm-hmm. I want $1,000. I just want $1,000. Yeah. But he's like, I could give you $1 million. Why you just want 1,000? Oh, because that sounds about right. That 1,000 sounds good. Why? Where you get that from? Who told you 1,000 sounds good? Yeah. If that's all you want, you sure? I have $1 million right here. Yeah. You're worth this. You know that, right? Yeah. Why do we limit ourselves? Why do we tell ourselves these things? Because we try to figure that middle out. How do you know that? Yeah. Why don't you just say, I want abundance? Yeah. I want abundance. I want what in my heart that I need to help others. I had to get myself out of that mindset to feel like I got to humble myself. Oh, Lord, I don't need all that. I just need enough to live, just pay my bills. Right. But how can you help other people? If you're telling the Lord that you out here try to help people, the world works with money. You need money to help others. Yeah. So if you keep downplaying everything, you're not going to be able to help the people that you really want to help. You have to have abundance to give back. That's how this works. Yeah. So I had to get that out of my mind. Like, I want everything. I want every dime because I know with the money I get, I promise you I will do right and I will help other people. But I need that abundance. Yeah. And then let it happen how it's going to happen. That doesn't mean you just need to go play the lottery every day. You never know. You might have a benefactor. You don't know where it's going to come from. And that's what a lot of people get scared at because they go, well, I can't see that happening. Okay, so let me tell you what Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says. Yeah. Not lean on your understanding. Trust in God with all your heart, and He will straighten out your crooked path. Lean on His understanding, not yours. Yours is this big, His is this big. We're not going to see how you could get that. But he already has the roadmap and he already telling you you're going to get it. Just complete, and you learn lessons during that. Because sometimes, like you said about the lotto, how many people win the lotto in about 2 or 3 years they broke?
Yeah, the percentage is probably very high.
It's very high. And the reason why they're broke is because they didn't go through things to learn lessons to know how to receive that money at the end, right?
Yeah.
They sometimes you ask for certain things, God give it to you, right? I want to win the lotto. Okay. You win the lotto. You're the same person before the lotto. You ain't gonna do nothing different but be the person with the lotto with more money. You're gonna spend the money because you haven't learned anything. So when you do learn something and you get that abundance, you know how to manage it correctly. You'll be able to do what you got to do with it. So money doesn't solve everything.
Right.
It's the mindset.
Yeah.
And when you receive it, now you can multiply it and do right by other people instead of you just furnishing you and doing for you.
Yeah. And then it comes full circle right back to where you started. You got to change your mind. You got to know yourself and find your purpose.
And reinvent your belief system, because your belief systems is mostly on other people, what they told you you're supposed to live.
Yes. Yes. And I could say probably if you haven't realized that yet, your belief system is really been programmed by the world or somebody else.
I like that. Yeah. If you don't realize that, that means you have been living somebody else's belief system.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. So two more questions. One is, how can all of my listeners get in touch with you after this podcast is over?
Well, you can get in contact with me. Everything is Let's Talk 1943. Okay. So you can reach me. I have my YouTube channel, same thing, Let's Talk 1943. My Gmail is the same thing, Let's Talk 1943@gmail.com. My website is www.letstalk1943.com if you want more information about that. The journals are all on Amazon. My book and my 3 journals are on Amazon. So if you want to check that out, you can. My name is Regina Smithwick. You can just pull that name in there and it'll pull up all my books. And so that's how you can reach me.
Awesome. Thank you. And all of the links will be in the show notes. If you want to just click on it and get right to those books, you can do that right now. And my last question is, you have found yourself, you found your purpose. God has blessed you with abundance. And God says, well done, good and faithful servant. Mm-hmm. You're about to leave, and he's going to give you one opportunity to leave a message for the world. What would that be?
Trust the process. Trust the process. Stop trying to figure it out on your own and trust the process. He will do you right if you trust him.
Thank you so much, Regina, for being here.
No problem. Thank you.